How's it going, guys, and welcome to Out of Bounds. I'm your host, James Skrmetta. Thank you for tuning in for 30 minutes of the best sports talk money cannot buy. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We're going to do what we do best, and that is have a stacked show for you. I'm going to provide you the best 30 minutes of sports talk radio that you can find on the internet, that you can find in your car, that you can find anywhere on the planet Earth. We're breaking rating records every day. We're destroying the competition. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on YouTube for a simulcast video version. And you can find us on my favorite, the Future of Radio app, the Stitcher app. You can download the Stitcher app, search my name, James Skrmetta, download, and then they will cultivate a playlist of podcasts for you on your specific tastes. If you listen to me, you may get matched up with Bill Simmons. You may get matched up with Joe Rogan or other sports themed podcasts, and the only person that benefits is you. So, enough of that, enough of house cleaning. We have a fully stacked show, per usual. My producers, aka me, have done a fantastic job of building this block of 30-minute entertainment. We're going to talk, of course, the AFC, NFC championship games. We're going to talk Cam Newton. We're going to talk Tom Brady. We're going to talk Peyton Manning. We're going to don't worry, we're going to talk me getting egg all over my face. And if we have some time, we may preview a little bit of, actually, if we have time, we'll slide in a little LeBron James, David Blatt getting fired. We'll slide in a little bit of that if we have time. But I have a feeling that this could be a football-dominated episode. So let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, alright guys, I messed up, guys, bottom line, I messed up. I sat here on Friday in the lavish studios in an undisclosed location in South Mississippi, and I told you guys that it wasn't going to be a game. I told you guys that it was impossible, that there was no human way for the New England Patriots to lose to the Denver Broncos. I told you guys that it was impossible, that it was no contest. They might as well not even play the game. Just, all right, start the timer, all right, end the game. Boom, Patriots going to the Super Bowl. We barely even discussed X's and O's because it was a foregone conclusion. I wasn't going to tell you guys, all about the schematics of how the Titanic worked, because I knew it already sunk. I'm not going to waste my time talking about the crew members. They're frozen. Sunday was supposed to be the best day of my life. I was going to wake up, watch the Patriots win, prove me right, validate the show, validate me as the new king of sports talk radio. Continue my meteoric rise with hundreds and thousands of listeners and viewers every single Monday and Friday. Bathe in the tears of local competitors trying to have their meetings and producers and fully staffed teams and studios trying to keep up with what we do here. And then I was going to watch the Royal Rumble, wrestling's second biggest pay-per-view of the year. I was going to eat a lot of pizza. It was going to be a great day. Spoiler alert, it did not go that way. Sitting there watching the game, right from Jump Street you could tell this is not good. Something has gone awry. This isn't the Patriots team that I know. This is not the Tom Brady that I'm used to. What's different? What's different about this Tom Brady? Oh, I know, he's getting brutalized. He's getting destroyed back there. He's getting mauled. The New England Patriot offensive line looked like they were in concrete. They looked like their feet were stuck in quicksand. I've never seen a human being get beaten like that left tackle Vollmer got beaten by DeMarcus Ware. It was every single snap. Then, no worries though, because as I correctly stated, this was not Manning versus Brady. Manning was irrelevant. Manning is a shell of his former self. And I told y'all on Friday, Peyton Manning is not Peyton Manning. It is some decrepit shell. And I was right. Peyton Manning wasn't doing anything at all. Patriots score. All right, here comes the tie. Good, we're not playing very well, but I'll take a tie at this point. Stephen Gostkowski, best kicker in the NFL. Has not missed an extra point in 570 attempts. The first year that the extra point was moved back, this year, Gostkowski hadn't missed all season. No big deal, not worried about it. Best kicker in the league. Can kick from 60, can kick from 65. Rocky Mountain air, balls travel. 50 degrees outside, they're pumping hot air into the stadium. And Gostkowski pushes it wide. And that was about the game. That was it. That's all you needed to know. An extra point decided the AFC champion. An extra point sent Peyton Manning to the playoffs. Or to the Super Bowl. Breaking down the game, there was two distinct plays that I think lost the Patriots the game. Really three, but there's two really bad ones. The first one was the Gostkowski extra point. Because even as bad as New England played, New England's offense plays, their defense was stellar. Their defense limited Peyton Manning to 11 for 32, 176 yards, 3 first downs in the second half. Not bad. I mean, you can't argue with that. As bad as the offense played, to be in a position where if you had the extra point, you could tie it up with 10 seconds left and go into overtime against a Peyton Manning with no arm, I'll take that every day of the week. But because of the 2-point conversion, that changed everything. So the first thing was the extra point. The second play was the first fourth down that New England went for. It was 4th and 1, about 6 minutes left. They did the kind of throwback to Julian Edelman, got stopped at the line of scrimmage. Here's my problem with the play. And I was watching it with friends, and we were arguing over, do you go for it? Do you not go for it? What do you do? Well, I'm going to break down that play specifically because I think that was the second biggest play of the game. Number one, I do not have a problem going for it. I would have kicked the field goal. I would have kicked the field goal because you're down 8. So if you kick it, then you're down 5, which means obviously a touchdown. You know, if you get a touchdown in the last fleeting minutes like they did, you win the game. Or if they go down the field and kick a field goal, then you're still down 1 possession. Or the third possible outcome, you miss the field goal, you're only down 8, still 1 possession, and they have the ball on the 30 or whatever it was, 30, 35, and they're not moving the ball at all. And you have 3 timeouts. And there's about 6 minutes left. So it was, to me, kind of a win-win to kick it. Because if you kick it, you have to get away from that 8. That was the thing to me. That's what the field goal is important for. You have to get away from that 8. Because scoring a touchdown, in my mind, is almost easier than scoring a 2-point conversion. I mean, a 2-point conversion, you got 3 yards to work with. You have the entire defense bunched into the end zone. New England is not a great running team. They don't really run at all, especially against Denver. So you have every defender in the end zone saying, hey man, just don't let them catch it in here. Now back to the play. If you go for it on 4th and 1, I don't have a problem with you going for it on 4th and 1. I understand you get it there. Another thing I didn't like was that you're on the 30-35, so even if you get it, you still have to get more first downs to keep the drive going. It's not like if you get the first down, it's 1st and goal in the 7. You know? You could potentially stall out and have to kick the field goal again. But let's go to the play. They run a throwback to Julian Edelman, which we've seen a million times. Number 1, it was a long 1 yard, or I would have just did a little sneak with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback sneak artist in NFL history. He averages more successful sneaks than anybody else. But it was a long one against the best defense in the league. I understand it. I understand not doing the sneak. You can't run the ball because you don't want to take it out of Tom Brady's hands. But if you have the best quarterback in the league, you have Amendola, you have Edelman, and you have Gronk, why not spread everything out, get another pass blocker like Scott Chandler or somebody in and protect him against DeMarcus Ware, and then you have Edelman, Amendola, and Gronk running routes to get you a quick route and get you 1 yard. Gronk's route can be something as simple as go up, take 2 steps to the right, turn around. Because I don't know if you noticed, but Gronk is incredible. And I don't know if you noticed, but Gronk is going to do whatever Gronk wants to do. That is just a fact. It's just, that's how it is. That's how it's going to be, and that's how it is. Gronk's going to do Gronk. Double cover doesn't matter. Get Gronk on the left side where Ware is. Have Chandler right there. Gronk just slides off, boom, bam. Brady puts it where he has to, whatever, first down. I'd rather try and do it that way than try and turn around and float this pass that seems to stay in the air forever to Edelman. And then, like John Madden says, why not throw it past the stick? Edelman caught the ball. He just caught it at the line of scrimmage. All he needs is 1 yard. So that, to me, was huge. Huge. And then the third play that really sealed it was the interception that Tom Brady threw to Von Miller in the red zone. If you look at the play, Von Miller chipped on Gronkowski. It looked like he was going to blitz, and he dropped back just right into Gronk and Brady. Brady was getting hurried, let it go. Easy interception for Von Miller, and they had it on the 20 or some, pretty close to that. That's the game. Those 3 plays, it goes down to those 3 plays. Any of those 3 plays go different, the Patriots win the game. The extra point goes different. Patriots going to overtime. Probably winning the game. 4th down goes different. Patriots could eventually kick, could eventually score. Boom, they win because of the touchdown at the end. Interception doesn't get thrown. Broncos don't score the other touchdown. Patriots win. 3 plays. 3 plays. So that's the X's and O's part of the whole thing. As far as what the game means, and as far as what I said, I was wrong with saying it was not a contest. I was wrong with saying that the Broncos could not win the game. I was wrong with saying it was impossible for the Patriots to lose. Because I did discount my emotion and passion for discounting Peyton Manning made me discount the Denver defense. The Denver defense is a Super Bowl defense. It held Pittsburgh to 16 points. It held New England to 18 points. It's a Super Bowl caliber defense. And they deserve all the credit for what they've done. They beat Tom Brady. They beat New England. They beat Bill Belichick. No doubt about that. They hit Tom Brady more than he's ever been hit ever in a game. Most he had ever been hit before was 12. He was hit 23 times. Almost double the most he's ever been hit in a game. He was hit by that Denver defense. They were bringing it. I cannot dispute that. But I had a bunch of people chirping at me saying, oh, what about Peyton Manning? Oh, you were wrong about Manning. You were wrong about Manning. You wanted to bench Manning. You did this and this and this. If you think Peyton Manning went out there and outplayed Tom Brady or outdueled Tom Brady or put in a Super Bowl performance, then we're just going to have to agree to disagree because I just do not see that. I watched the whole game. I did not see anything different from Peyton Manning than what I thought I was going to see. I saw a guy who had trouble making throws. The only thing that he did that I didn't think he could do is he got a little mobile. He ran for a first down. He escaped a Jamie Collins sack. He was moving around a little bit. First throw, busted coverage, whatever. It was a wide open throw. Second throw was a terrible touchdown pass to Owen Daniels. My boy Jamie Collins got beat on a terrible double move by Owen Daniels. And the ball stayed in the air forever and dropped down right in Owen Daniels' lap. It was just one of those things. Like I said, 11 passes completed. 11 for 32, 176 yards. That is like, I'm thinking of a quarterback. That's the kind of numbers you'd expect from like Brandon Wheaton. Or, Charlie Whitehurst or somebody. If I told you Peyton Manning threw for 11 for 32 for 176 yards, and they had 3 first downs in the second half, you would think the Patriots beat him by 50. But it wasn't meant to be. It was the defense. It was the defense versus Tom Brady, and the defense won. The defense won the first half, that's for sure. The second half, Brady almost got his way, but it was close. It was a great game as just a fan, as just someone watching the game. As far as, from start to finish, it had a ton of stuff going on. Fourth downs, it had defensive plays, it had Tom Brady, it had fourth down conversions, it had Gronk exploding. It had all this stuff. From a football sense, it was a terrible game. Like I said, the quarterback got hit 23 times. Tom Brady threw 2 picks. Peyton Manning threw 11 for 32. It was sloppy football. It was sloppy football. And I did not, I didn't hold back on this program, which we're never going to hold back. But I didn't hold back on this program with how I felt about Peyton Manning and how I felt about how this whole thing shaping up. And I'm still not sold on, Peyton Manning did nothing Sunday for me to say, he still got it. Old Sheriff Peyton still got it. I don't hate the guy, but he's not the same player. It's okay to admit he ain't the same guy. That's all I'm saying. It's okay. I swear to you it's okay to just step back and say, you know what, man, you're right. He's a game manager now. He's nothing more than Rex Grossman or any of those other quarterbacks that got to the Super Bowl on the heels of a great defense that, just had to game manage and hope the defense could hold the other team to under 20 points. That's all he is now. Do I think Rex Grossman is a quarterback that should be in Super Bowls? No. No, I don't. That's it. If you went back to that season, I would not be sitting here saying, I don't know, man, Rex Grossman is leading this team to the Super Bowl. I would say it's a big combination of a lot of things. The same with this. I don't think Peyton Manning is leading this team to the Super Bowl. You can make the argument that Brock Osweiler is the reason that they're at the Super Bowl. Because I got a feeling that Denver would not have beat New England in New England. I got a feeling it would have been 45 and sunny in New England, and old Pate would have had a little problem with those 2 touchdown passes. But Brock Osweiler came in the middle of the season and let them get the number 1 seed. This is a storybook type thing for Peyton Manning. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot that had to happen in order for him to be in this spot to go to the Super Bowl. But he's got a whole different animal in front of him. He's got Cam Newton in front of him. He's got a Carolina Panthers team that's the complete opposite of the Peyton Manning Denver Broncos. They are a new generation. They are hungry. They are fast. They are, I don't want to say swag. They have swagger. They have Cam Newton, the MVP. They ain't hitting Cam Newton 23 times. Cam Newton can move around a little bit. And Carolina's playing with some serious moxie right now. Carolina beat Arizona to within an inch of its life. May have ended Carson Palmer's career mentally. I don't know how you go from a 6-turnover NFC Championship game to whatever Carson Palmer can do. He better get in some great rounds of golf. Get his mind off of whatever happened in Carolina. It wasn't good. Bruce Arians is kind of a quarterback whisperer. He better start screaming at Carson Palmer. But there was nothing. There was nothing Arizona could do that day. Carolina's just on fire. Now let's talk about Carolina. Let's shift. Let's shift over. We won't talk too much about the game because the game was a slaughter. It was 31-0 at one point. Carolina was the better team in every facet of the game. I want to talk about how crazy it is that Carolina is the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Before the season, they were the 23rd. They had the 23rd worst odds to win the Super Bowl preseason. 23. You know who's in front of them? St. Louis was in front of them. St. Louis was 22. The Miami Dolphins were in front of them. The Texans were in front of them. The Chiefs were in front of them. The Saints were in front of them. The Falcons were in front of them. 23rd. That's the 7th overall pick in the draft if you flip the whole thing. There was 60-1. If you bet on the 60-1 team right now to win next year's Super Bowl, then you're picking the San Francisco 49ers to win the Super Bowl at the second worst odds. Only worse is 200-1, and that is the Cleveland Browns. And that's San Francisco now with the Chip Kelly hire. God knows what they were before the Chip Kelly got hired. Imagine if San Francisco won the Super Bowl next year. That's how crazy it is that Carolina's doing this. I've mentioned it before on here. NFL Network, Sports Illustrated, ESPN, Bleacher Report, SB Nation, my show. No one on the face of the earth even had Carolina winning the division. Had Carolina going to the playoffs. Much less go to the Super Bowl, be the favorite, and win 17 games. They've lost one game. They're 17-1. This team is 17-1. How bananas is that? They're not just like, oh, we're in the Super Bowl. We lucked into the Super Bowl. They have not even stumbled. They had one loss against Atlanta. One loss. The rest of the season, beating people to death. Cam Newton's MVP. That's it. They beat who most people consider the best team in the NFC, Arizona. Beat them by 35. Beat the two-time defending NFC champion Seattle Seahawks. I mean, this team is outrageous. Cam Newton, and I really don't understand how there isn't more talk about the improbability that Carolina is in this spot to be in this game, to potentially win the Super Bowl. Imagine if Carolina won the Super Bowl. Think about how crazy it would be if the Houston Texans won the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. Because Vegas gave them a better chance to win than Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Imagine if Nick Foles was holding up the NFC Championship statue. Because they were the team that Vegas said they have a better chance than the Carolina Panthers. The St. Louis Rams, led by Nick Foles. Think about how nuts that would be. Oh, here's Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl. You can't even fathom it. And they weren't as big of underdogs as Carolina is. This is one of the most improbable championship runs I have seen in my lifetime. I mean, this is, from start, it's hard to say now, at this point in the season, because Carolina's the favorite. Carolina's they should be here. They're 17-1 favorites. When the season started, this team wasn't a favorite to get in the wild card, to get in the playoffs, to win 8 games. And not only have they done the unthinkable, they've done it with style. They have the MVP. They have a 17-1 record. They had home field advantage. They got the odds in their favor. They're the favorites. They're the supposed winners by 4.5 points. It's unbelievable. It truly is. And then if you break it down even further into Cam Newton as an individual, this is a guy, number 1 overall pick. When he was drafted, first overall, he had played 14 games of football? 14 games, 15 games. He went to a junior college. He had been booted from Florida. Went to a junior college. Went to Auburn. Whenever he took his first snap at Auburn, it wasn't like, well, Auburn's got Cam Newton. Well, he could be a Heisman hopeful. It was, I don't know who the Auburn quarterback is. I have no idea. People knew more about Jeremy Johnson this year than they did about Cam Newton when that season started. People forget. When he played Alabama that year, it was 24-0 Alabama. He came back on a Nick Saban team and beat them in the Iron Bowl. And then won the national championship. When he went to the NFL and was drafted first overall, he had never lost. He had never, ever lost. And then got drafted by the first overall team. And got beat up. But what did he do his first 2 games? Threw for over 400 yards both games. Set the rookie passing record for the first game. This is a guy who was... There was arguments that you should take Jake Locker. Take someone else. Trade the pick. Let Jimmy Clausen play. No one thought Cam Newton could do this. No one thought he could figure out the NFL, how NFL playbooks were run. Nobody thought he was a good enough of a passer. And then, of course, the character issues. We've talked about it on this show a million times. Cam Newton has been linked to character issues. He's the only person on earth that's been linked to character issues without ever doing anything wrong. It's unbelievable. If you want, I mean, the only thing I can compare it to is if you went to Walmart and just found some random human being and was like, "Oh, this guy's got serious character issues." Yeah, it's the same deal. No, who has any idea? When people were saying that about Cam Newton, they had zero, absolutely zero reason to say he has character issues. It's crazy. The whole thing with the Carolina Panthers, from their team to Cam Newton to his kind of run in the NFL, and let's just say Cam Newton wins the Super Bowl. Let's just say the favorite wins, Cam wins. This will be a guy who went undefeated at Auburn, took Auburn from, the brink of death to the national championship, then got drafted first overall after 14, 15 games. People crushing him, crucifying him. Pundits. People that are supposed to do this. People that do this for a living. Scouts. Former head coaches. Former GMs. Ex-players. All saying, he's a bust. He's a bust. He's a bust. He's a bust. And then in just a few short years, after losing the best wide receiver in Carolina history, Steve Smith, after losing his first-round wide receiver in Kelvin Benjamin, and having a core of Ted Ginn Jr., Greg Olsen, Funches, and a bunch of other people I don't know, lead that team in the NFC to beat Seattle, to beat Arizona, and to go 17-1 en route to the Super Bowl. And then to be the favorites against a Denver Bronco, Peyton Manning led team. It's how crazy it is that Peyton Manning and his noodle arm is in the Super Bowl. It's infinitely more crazy that Cam Newton's in the Super Bowl. If he wins the Super Bowl, you're going to have to seriously step back and look at Cam Newton, and you're going to have to truly wonder if the league has changed, the face of the league, the face of the quarterback position, if it has truly changed to Cam Newton. He's the MVP without a shadow of a doubt. And he has no weapons. I know the Carolina backers don't want to hear that, but he has nobody. And he's doing this. He's doing what he did at Auburn. Unlike Auburn, where you can only do it for 1 year, Cam Newton could do this foreseeably until his body just kind of gives up. He's LeBron James playing quarterback. He's 6'6", 260 pounds. He's bigger than the linebackers. He's like a defensive end. And he can throw the ball as good as anybody. We could be seeing a serious change of guard at quarterback. Or just in the league, not even at quarterback. He's the MVP. Who's to say he can't just keep doing this? I mean, if he keeps doing this, it's like, well, Cam Newton is now the best quarterback in the NFL. And I don't know a lot of people that said Cam Newton could one day be the best quarterback in the NFL. I think it was Warren Moon. I think I read this somewhere, that Warren Moon was huge on Cam Newton before the draft. And Warren Moon said he could be the best player that ever lived, all this other stuff. I think Warren Moon might be the only person that can stand up and say, hey, I nailed it. I got that one right. I'm up against the clock, guys. We're going to talk. Our shows are going to be packed with Panthers talk, Broncos talk, Super Bowl talk, NFL talk. We will get on this subject more, 100%. We have a lot of other stuff I would love to talk about. Maybe on Friday's show, we can get in there. We might have to do a special midweek episode because there's so much going on right now, and we need to talk about it. We didn't talk about Todd Monken's quick resigning at Southern Miss to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as their offensive coordinator. We didn't again talk about the LeBron James, David Blatt. We didn't talk about that. We will get to all those things. We have plenty of time for that. But what we need is a longer show. We need hours and hours of this. But the only way to do that is for you guys to contact your local sports radio and say, God, please get these people out of the booth. I've got the guy. I got the guy you need for the save the ratings. Save us. Talk James Talk. Let everybody know, guys. Rate and review the show if you listen to it on the Future of Radio, the Stitcher app, or if you're on iTunes. And drop me a comment. Give me a shout on Twitter. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. This has been Out of Bounds. Y'all take it easy.